Hi everybody. Today we're gonna be reading Toby X Listener. I am so giggly because I was watching the favorites collection that I had for myself as I watched my favorite funniest things on TikTok and whatnot, and I saved them into a collection, blah 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 blah, and they're hilarious. And then all of a sudden, bro, so I was scrolling to TikTok and I don't even want to explain it. I don't want to give explanations. I will put it in the link down in the description below, or maybe in the comments if I even can. And y'all go watch it for yourselves. It is, I have no words. I have no words. Just in advance. Be careful. Be careful. Anyways, continue to the story. But before you do, be warned, there will be mentions of torture and violence and a lot of gruesome stuff.
Discretion is advised.
So, first things first, we're going to skip chapter 30. Apologies, but it is a lemon chapter. At least y'all know where the smutty stuff is at. So, be aware. Alright, now we're in chapter 31. Reader's point of view. I slowly lift my eyelids as the sun beams in through the window to find I was tucked up, warm in bed that wasn't my own. It was Tomo's. I looked around to see Tomo already awake, fully clothed, and sat at the end of the bed, facing away from me. Looking out of the window, groaning, I slowly sat up and stretched my arms as I yawned loudly, causing Tomo to chuckle. In a way, I felt embarrassed after last night. I knew it wasn't a dream. It felt too real. But at the same time, it felt good, and I was glad that it happened. Good morning. Tomo smiles as he turns to face me. But he soon giggles once he sees the state that I'm in. Taking Toby's point of view. I couldn't help but laugh when I saw her. Her hair was rugged and messy. Complete bedhead. 2 times larger than usual. She has dribble down her chin, some new and some old and crusty, though she was still beautiful. Hey, don't laugh, I just woke up. I can see that. She gasped mockingly and lightly punched my shoulder. I couldn't help but smile. Last night was amazing. It was too good to be true. It had to be a dream, but it wasn't. Well, I'm gonna go to the bathroom. She huffs and standing out of the bed and heading to the door. When? She pauses and turns around to face me, placing a hand on her head. Yeah? Don't you want to at least put some clothes on? She raises her brow until she looks down and shrieks. She was still completely naked. She curls herself inwards, placing her arm to cover her bedoggles, and her other to cover between her legs. Don't look! Why not? I saw it all last night. That's not the point. I sigh amusingly as I cover my eyes with my hand, grabbing a blanket and holding it out to her. As she reaches for it, I quickly move my hand away, stealing a peek at her goggles. Tomo! She cries as she snatches the blanket and hides herself in it. Sorry, Wyan, I need one last look. We both laugh as she turns and headed to the bathroom to freshen up. Smiling to myself, I stand up to stretch, but something out of the window catches my eye. Looking closer with the woods in view, I notice 2 figures standing there between the trees' edges and where the forest finishes, just staring up at me. I look closer and harder. I realize who they are. It was Masky and Jeff, both just standing there, staring at me. Jeff had an angry yet evil expression on his face. I told y'all! Someone was going to follow him. Period. Not period, actually. Hold on. In Jeff's hand wasn't a knife, but a sheet of paper. Oh wait, hold on. Excuse me. I couldn't see Masky's, but I saw his crowbar, which he held tightly. In Jeff's hand wasn't a knife, but a sheet of paper with red splotches on it. I couldn't see the writing. As I watch as Jeff tilts the paper back and forth with the same timing of shaking his head, as if to disagree. I was so confused and somewhat worried. Although the moment soon ended as they both turned and walked away into the forest. As soon as they disappear, Wyan wrapped her arms around me from behind, resting her chin on my shoulder. What you staring at? I didn't answer right away. I had to process what I saw in my mind to properly understand it. Nothing. Just...
Bruh.
Just as I say that, we heard a crash of breaking glass come from downstairs. We both rushed downstairs to find a broken kitchen window. Following the glass, I spot something white in the corner of my eyes, stuck to the fridge. I make my own way towards it, trying not to make it so obvious to Wyan what I was doing. Once I reach it, I realize who broke in. It was Jeff and Maskey. It was the paper he held, which I could see the writing now, which read, "Wrong choice." I quickly grab it, scrunching it up and stashing it in my pocket. I quickly turn to the sound of glass clatter and Wyan sighing, "Here, let me." I make my way over to her and crouch down, taking the dustpan and the brush from her. She thanks me and makes her way upstairs to wake Lyrisha, just to inform her of the break-in. I knew there was some good stuff downstairs. They couldn't at least take one or two things. Couldn't be me. Anyways, chapter 32. Reader's point of view. A day had passed since the break-in. Lyrisha and I were so on edge. It took Tomo a long time. It took a long few hours to try and keep us calm and thinking positive. Though I was quicker than Lyrisha, mainly because of the fact that me and Tomo were closer. But I was still very much on edge. But Lyrisha still didn't know about the night me and Tomo spent together. I'm scared to tell her just in case of what she may think. I don't want her to judge me as her friend. She wouldn't if she was actually she would judge you in a way that a friend would judge you, not in a way that would make you think so negatively of yourself unless you did something bad. You know what I'm saying? So, yeah. Girl, yeah. I suck at snapping. Wyan, stop pacing. The windows are fixed and it is all quiet for now. Tomo will be back soon, so let's just calm down. Lyrisha says in a calming tone as I pace around in her bedroom. Tomo went out for a while, but it's been hours and I started to worry. He never said where he was going or for how long. He just disappeared. I can't calm down. I'm so worried. How could he just leave without a word? How do you reckon he'll be? Wyan, he's his own person, remember? This isn't his house. Maybe he just needed some space. I sigh and flop on her bed, staring at the floor as she watches me worriedly. Tell you what. How about I do that background check now? What's his last name? Rogers. Tomo Rogers. Lyrisha moves to her computer, opening a Google tab and beginning her search. I knew it would take a while, so I decided to go down and make myself something to eat. I thought that ended there. Whoopsie. My dumbness is ridiculous. Anyways, as I head downstairs, I decided to ditch the food and turn on the TV. However, in doing so, the first thing I see is a crime scene of a body. A little girl. She had gashes in her spine, shoulders, and lower leg. It was so heartbreaking to see. The police said that she was only 10 years old. Her parents were interviewed and apparently it was her 11th birthday tomorrow. I felt awful. I couldn't watch another minute, so I turned the channel. Some people are disgusting. Who would do that to a child? Laughing Jack. Turning the TV off completely, I change my mind once again and make myself some food. Heading to the fridge, I grab the milk and make myself some cereal, taking my time to eat it as I wander randomly around the lower part of the house. I was so bored without Tomo, and the house seemed somewhat empty. An hour had passed, and I make my way up to see how Lyrisha was getting on with the research, but I was shocked when I saw her screen. There was so much going on, so many tabs, windows, and documents. How is it going? Impossible. I can't just find anything on Tomo Rogers. In this reality, it would really correct it for you. What? That can't be right. There must be something. Well, there is one thing. Take a look at this. She gestured to a page as she turns her screen towards me. The only record of Tomo Rogers to exist died 50 years ago. Lyrisha, this can't be. We have a Tomo Rogers living in our house. Well, maybe his name isn't Tomo Rogers. I looked up to see other Roger family who lived in this town, and there's only one. Here, read this. The Roger family composed of the mother, father, the son, and the daughter. The father was abusive to the children, to his wife, and the daughter was sadly killed in a crash. The son took her death the worst, which caused his affective tics and tremors to increase dramatically. The son, known as Toby Rogers, ended up turning insane and killing his family members. Though he had never been caught by the police, there is evidence to support that he is dead, but there is reason to believe he is still alive. As I try to process the name in my head, my mind suddenly flashes back to Sue's death. You called me an idiot. Oh, hold on. This is background, by the way. Memories. You called me an idiot. I just said that I wasn't, but I didn't actually mean to say it. It was an accident. The killer remained silent, but his head seemed to tilt a little, side and slightly back, as if to be in shock. I didn't say that out loud. I was confused, raising one eyebrow as I stared at the figure, trying to understand what it was trying to tell me. And then blah, 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 blah. Basically, like, you can read minds. I can read minds, and yeah, that's when she first met Toby. I couldn't believe what I was reading. But what shocked me the most, the fact that the murderer who nearly killed me, I was staring at his picture and reading about his history. The thing that horrified me the most was the picture of Toby Rogers. My heart rate increased. My mouth went dry and I felt tears in my eyes. Is that Tomo? I whispered as I slowly back away from the computer. This can't be happening. Tomo cannot really be Toby. It's not possible. Toby tried to kill me. Tomo has been nothing but nice to me. That this is not happening. I don't believe it. I won't. I was in pure shock. I felt myself starting to hyperventilate as I stared at the picture on the screen. Sure, it was a younger picture, but it was definitely him. Oh my god, oh my god, oh my god. I cried as I gripped my hair in my hands, holding tightly as my panic takes over. What am I going to do? What do I do? YN, take it easy. We'll sort something out. Kick him out and it'll be fine. Just don't let him know that we know. No, that's not the point. That's not the point. Oh my gosh. What's not the point? I couldn't bring myself to say it. I was so embarrassed, especially now. I was worried enough to admit I slept with Tomo. Now I had to admit I slept with a murderer. When don't tell me that you didn't. I did. I slept with him, okay? At the time it was great and fucking amazing. But now I'm realizing that I have a murderous thing in sight. I couldn't even bring myself to finish. I felt so ashamed. Oh my gosh, my dramatics is going. Chapter 33. Larisha stands up from her chair angrily as she approaches me, stomping with a furious expression. You're fucking joking, right? I groan, clenching my hands, banging the sides of my head. I can't believe you right now. You're admitting to sleeping with a fucking murderer. I didn't know. How was I supposed to know? He kills people. He killed Sue, YN. He killed her friend. Sue wasn't my friend. She hated me and I hated her. She wasn't your friend either. She was snobby and a brat. Nobody wants bitchy friends. She was just different. You didn't like her because she wasn't perfect like you. She wasn't different. She was just an asshole. How could you say that? She was my friend. She wasn't your friend. She was just using you so you could would probably dump you off. Just like everyone else did in your life, including your mother and your sister. Ooh. Oh, I think you said a little bit too much, girl. Ooh. This involves me a little sip of my malta right now. Delicious. Okay. Ooh. No words were spoken. Only a stinging pain sensation filled my cheek as Larisha raised her hand, slapping it down across my face in rage. My sister loved me. My mother was a fucking drug. My mother was a fucking drunk and drug addict. I let you off for my mother as she dumped me and killed my sister, but I will not stand for you talking bad about my sister. She was my friend, my best friend, my sister, and she died at the hands of a drunken bitch, jealous of how close we were. I thought you were my friend, YN. I trusted you with that information. You threw it right back at me. Man, I'm telling you, that was a very low blow on on our part. That was a very low blow. Goodness. And I thought you were my friend, but you judged me for sleeping with someone I love. Don't you mean someone you loved? No, I don't. Despite him being a murderer, I still love him. He gave me the best night of my life, and him being here just made this house fill up with life. More so than what you filled. I can't believe what I'm hearing. I just want to punch yourself out in the face over and over. Lyrisha goes through with her plan and rushes her hand to punch me. Luckily, I heard it all and managed to dodge a few blows before finally grabbing her fist during the last punch. How are you doing this? She yells as frustrated yet saddening tears fill her eyes, dribbling down her cheek. Lyrisha, remember Lyrisha, I can read minds. I say during straining her force as continuing to be applied as she tries to force her fist through to punch me. But I realize my mistake. As soon as I remind her of one of my ability, her sad, angry, straining face changes into a sneaky, evil expression. In no time at all, her other hand raises and punches me down, causing me to fall down to the floor with a thud and my vision to blur. I watch uneasily and dizzy as she runs out of the room and heads downstairs. I knew what her plan was, and I tried to hurry to catch her before she completed her mission. She was going to make a phone call about my ability and have me removed, most likely to be put away or possibly have me experimented on.
What did he say?
So this went. Hold on, I need to speak. This went from 1 to 100. No, not even 100. 200. Real fast. Cause what the actual fuck? I would have her sent to be killed real fast. But I mean that was a low blow on us, but she even punched a lower blow. Isn't she supposed to be better than this? Lyrisha! Oh my goodness, disgusting. See, I told you. As I run downstairs, I call for Lyrisha, but she was nowhere to be seen. I expected her to be using the house phone, but she wasn't. Then I noticed the front door was wide open. Shit! I run outside to see Lyrisha rush down the street with her mobile to her ear. I bolt after her and manage to catch up, pouncing on her back and pitting her against the floor, her phone dropping and smashing. Get off of me! She yells as her body makes a painful impact with the floor. I look around to see nobody was around, but we were near the edge of the forest. Luckily, I caught her before she just turned the corner to go around. I can't let you call me in for having a mind-reading power. What kind of friend would do that? What type of friend would bring up my dead sister and mock her existence? Damn, we are both bad. Jeez. She cries into the concrete, her face full of sorrow and hatred. I felt awful. I hurt someone who was my life. Lyrisha, I'm so sorry. I was a horrible friend back there. Oh, you just noticed? I apologize as I stand her up, grabbing her hand to help her up. Continuing to hold it as I apologize to her. I know how much you loved your sister, but words cannot describe how sorry I am. Are we? I should have never said those things and hurt you like that. You know I could never do anything to hurt you. You're so dear to me. These should really not be friends. As soon as I see her trying to report me to the police, off with the head, for real. Anyway, you know I could never hurt you. I love you so much. You're an amazing friend. Blah, blah. Both me and Lyrisha continue to cry, tears streaming down our cheeks. She lunges forward and embraces me tightly, crying loudly into my neck. I'm so sorry, Lion. She both stand there for a few minutes until we finally stop crying. She pulls back and wipes her final tear from her eye. I love you too. I wouldn't have loved you if you called the cops on me and made me get experimented on like Deadpool. Girl! She smiles, but her expression suddenly changes as she gasps. Her eyes shooting open, she gasps for air, blood dribbling from her mouth, and splattered my face as she coughs and gags. I scream as her body falls to the floor before their feet. Crouching down to cradle her, I notice a similar gash mark in her spine. The same one with that little girl had on the TV. My head slowly rises to find the source of my friend's death until it lands on a similar face without his mask. Toby? New chapter? This is some for real bullshit. I I'm glad she died. I'm sorry to the people who don't agree with me, but Larisha deserved to die for pulling that stunt. Like, yeah, we punched low, but she managed to punch lower. Like, imagine, like, realistically, if you have seen the Deadpool movies, y'all know that he was experimented on. That shit ain't pretty, and that shit is not nice. She really went really low in the blow, so could have possibly traumatized us for life and even worse. So, I don't know. Girls, the vibes are off. Friendship is not working out. Honestly. Anyways, chapter 34. Tiki Toby's point of view. After I cleaned up all the broken glass, I head upstairs to try and find YN and Lyrisha. Tell them everything was going to be okay for reassurance. However, as I head back downstairs, making my way towards the kitchen, something hard and heavy was smashed against the back of my head, causing me to fall unconscious. As I wake, I find myself surrounded by darkness. My eyes were definitely open, but I still couldn't see. I tried to move, but my efforts were pointless. No matter how much I tried, I couldn't move my arms or legs. They seemed to be tied down at the wrists and ankles. I was just about to call out when I heard the door open and close. Footsteps followed by a familiar chuckle. The same chuckle I heard when I was inside Slender's office. Uh-oh. Before I could say a word, something was yanked harshly off my head. Seemed to be some sort of sack. My vision was blurry, but I made an attempt to scan the room. It was dark, dull, moldy, and smelt of rotten flesh, with only a small light shining above my head. Hello, Toby. The voice coos. I wait until my eyes adjust to the new lights to find Bloody Painter standing in front of me. Painter. He flicks his blood dripping paintbrush in the curve of an upside down C as if to mock a smile, causing me to huff. What do you want, Painter? Well, let's talk about it, shall we? He taps my shoulders and circles around the chair I was tied up in. Slender gave orders. You didn't fill your quota. Slender gave you more. You ignored and left for months. Slender gave you even more orders. You again ignored him and left to have sex with your bitch. Hey, she's not. I'm so I got brain aneurysms up in here. She's not my bitch. I love her. She loves me. Oh, of course, love. Such bullshit words spoken between two people. You do know she'll soon forget about you. That's not true. Oh, yes, we're not here to make her forget about you. We are. We're here to make you forget her. What? Ah, now you're interested. Well, what do you mean? Make me forget her? Let's skip to the fun part, shall we? Before I could say another word, Blade Painter raises a knife.
I will not be adding sound effects to that because that's just ugh.
And stabs it deep into my thigh, piercing my flesh and carving against the bone. I was usually numb to pain, but this I could feel it, and it was agonizing. I yelled and cried as he grabs the knife and begins to slowly twist it as it remains lodged into my skin and muscles. I grind my teeth as he slowly pulls it out, only to find that he plunges it back in the same thigh, inches from the first gash. I groaned and strained angrily as he twists the blade, causing the two wounds to merge into a big one. You could hear tendons and ligaments snap, bones grinding and crunching, until he yanks out the knife, blood gushing down my leg. You know, Toby, I was told you don't feel pain. That you're what they call numb. But luckily, Slender had a liquid for just such occasions. I injected it into your system before you woke. The pain deep down to each and every nerve that way. I watch as he brings over 3 vials, 2 liquids and 1 solid. He holds them above my wound. As I shake and tremble, he slowly tips all 3, pouring the contents into the gash. My entire body jumps and I couldn't help but scream out my entire voice box. Oh. The stinging sensation was unbearable, hissing and gaping in agony. Billy Painter laughs. Lemon, lime, salt, and salt. My 3 favorite things. Oh, that sounds like it fucking hurts. Ah! Wow, bro. This is why I don't like reading this shit. Chapter 35. Toby's point of view. I endure countless hours of torture from Painter. Cuts, slash, gashes, burns. One by one, he uses clamps to rip off my toe. My mom, me just my nails and my other nails, carving symbols into my back and down my spine with a hot dagger heated in the fire, pressing deep into my skin. Continue to pour salt onto my wounds for amusement. He stitched my mouth shut like a doll, only to yank my lips apart right after, practically shredding them, bouncing my jaw open with a metal brace. He used pliers to pull off a few back of my teeth, making it hard to chew when he force-fed me human flesh or organs that he stole from Jack. There was so much blood. How I hadn't felt unconscious yet was a mystery. There was so much. Man, I want to read this. This is the first time I've ever felt so uncomfortable reading something so vile. So I'm going to go ahead, read it super fast, and shorten it for every single person. I'm not reading this whole shit, bro. It's fucking terrifying. Okay, so. Okay, so short summary of the area with the torture part. Basically, he tortures him more and very badly, and until he no longer felt pain. The sensation was still agonizing, blah 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 blah. Then he sends him to basically more madness and makes him go kill a couple of some sort. And he's torturing him to the point where a human would not survive. A human will not live this crap. Apparently, they're really good. This author is really good at describing scenes that I am very uncomfortable with reading. So I am shortening it for the sake of my own sanity. I don't want to have nightmares tonight. I really, really don't. Honestly, I honestly wish I had a second reader with me on this channel so they could possibly read this instead of me, but there is none. So y'all just gonna have to deal with it. Y'all all just gonna have to deal with it. And then we're skipping all the way down to the part where okay, so we're gonna skip, and that's it. So I'm gonna skip down to the part where he unties him. So good. He begins to untie me, but as soon as I was free, I quickly stand up, causing him to fall back on his rear, his mask staring up at me. I tick and twitch insanely as I stand over him. My urge to kill him was so high. I raise the hatchet and prepare to swing as my head remains hung down, staring at the floor. I didn't need to look at him to see him. My insanity made me sure I would make a direct hit. I go to swing, but something causes me to stop. In the distance, I heard it. The giggle and laughter of two children, a boy and a girl. Growling, I run out of the room, ignoring the pain of every step and movement until the children came into view. I watched as they play and laugh together. It made me sick. I watched behind the trees until the girl turned her back. What she did, I threw the hatchet. It hits directly in her shoulder. She screams and drops to the floor. Her cowardly friend running away. Blood gushed from her wound as I walk over to her, ripping out the hatchet. She screams, desperately trying to crawl away, so I stop her. I smash the hatchet. Basically, he killed the girl, okay? And he was enjoying it. And then, and this only happened in a matter of hours. Like, may I say that? I'm pretty sure it said hours. I'm pretty sure. If it doesn't, it'll show on the screen. This shit. Oh, it's getting worse and worse and worse and worse as I read. Oh. Y'all love to torture me with these. Don't y'all love to torture me? This author loves to torture people who has to read this. This is chapter 36, and also I would like to mention that they just wrote that they accidentally made wine pinning what what's her name? Wine pinning Larisha down. That part, remember that part? They kind of, and then Toby, after killing the girl, they actually kind of mixed it, but yeah, they just mentioned that. So if anyone gets confused, they made a warning about that. So I'm letting y'all know. Chapter 36, reader's point of view. Toby? I watch in horror as he stands before me. I've never seen him in such a state as this. He looks awful. I could tell he was in pain, but why wasn't he acting like he was? His lips looked like they had been shredded. His gaze were glazed and bags beneath from lack of sleep. Shadows hovering them as he stares down at me. His clothes were torn. I could see cuts and burns. They were only on the surface, but others were deep to the very bone. His entire person was soaked with blood, some dry, some new, leaking from deeper wounds. Oh, that rhymed. I remain leaning on the floor, holding my dead friend as he slowly approaches, stumbling and stalking slowly as his bangs hanging in front of his shadowy eyes. Come on, Toby. I know that's your real name. I found out your history. I'm so sorry that happened to your sister. He suddenly stops, his head craking into a tilt, causing me to gasp and flinch, although he does not speak. Instead, he makes an angry growl as I heard from as he lowers down, ripping the hatchet out of Larisha's back. He was so close to me. I was so in reach of my own death. I was terrified. My entire body trembles as he slowly leans down over me, his hair dangling over his piercing eyes, locking with mine, seeking into my soul. Stand up, he demanded, his voice deep and low, raspy like a sore throat. Oh my gosh, these rhyming! Could make some good bars. Sore throat belonging to that of a demon, or someone who has at least gone insane. I said, stand the fuck up. He growls as he leans even closer, causing me to lean back. Hearing his grip tighten on his hatchet, I suddenly scream when he swings back and raises his weapon to strike. Rushing to get up, I take a few steps back to at distance. I was terrified and feared for my life. I'd never seen Toby like this. Not only that, the thing that stuck out to me the most, Toby, your stutter. His stutters and tremors had completely gone. Instead, his neck would snap and crack as he insanely twitches. However, he did not answer me. Instead, he steps carelessly over Larisha's body, closing the gap between us, making me take more steps back, which was a bad mistake to make. My actions of stepping away angered him even more so. Stop moving away. He growls as he once again closes in. What? But out of reflex, I back away from him. Causing him to grind his teeth. Toby, listen to me. It's me, YN. I never got to finish my sentence. Instead, all I could do was scream in agony and clutch my hand around my left arm. Toby had sliced me with his hatchet. My tear-filled eyes watched him as he grips his blood-dripping hatchet tightly in his hands. How could you? Toby, how could you? I cry as I grip my arm even tighter, blood flowing to the floor, down my elbow to my wrist, and off my fingertips. Bro, are you making rhymes up in here? My goodness. As I beg for remorse through my expressions and tearful eyes, Toby unexpectedly bursts out laughing. It was psychotic and deep. I was horrified. Look at you. You're pathetic. He laughs it once again, this time raising his hatchet in the air above his head, preparing to swing. I had to get away. I had no choice. I quickly make my move, kicking him harshly in the stomach, watching as his winded figure drops to the floor. I make a run for it. So, everybody, that was surprisingly short. But this went from 0 to 3 fucking million. It's just a couple of chapters. How many chapters did we even read? Hold up. We read 6 chapters, and it went that fast, bro. I had to count, actually. Well, actually, we read 7 chapters. We read we read 6 chapters, bro. 6 chapters and it went that fast. My fucking goodness. I'm so surprised. I literally just censored myself right now. What the actual... That's... You know what? Back to me. Oh my goodness. That went... Just real fast. So fast, bro. I was surprised. I couldn't even read barely 2 chapters because it was something that I was uncomfortable with reading. And I don't mind a little torture, a little blood, a little violence, but to that extent where I'm putting salt, lemon juice all together, my favorite combination. Oh, like I'm here just like, like I was terrified to say the least. Let me know what you guys are thinking is gonna happen in the comments. Will Ryan die? Will Toby get back to his senses? And, be like, oh shit, that's my girlfriend. I can't kill her. What? Let me know what you guys... Just let me know in the comments down below. I really need an answer. I think it won't click back to him for a little bit, especially with those severe torture methods. There's probably even worse ones, to be honest, but that was bad. Listen, I'm not good with torture. I'm not good with reading those very scary chapters, because to me, I'm here like as soon as I hear toenails, I'm like, oh, I was not, to say the least, I was not stable reading that. So, for my own happiness and barely yours, I'm not reading it. I'm sorry. Not sorry, but a little bit. I'm not comfortable with it, but at least you guys know where it's at, and I gave you a summary of what it basically was. So it's okay. I still read. So shh. I don't need no comments telling me what I need to do. Anyways, I hope you guys enjoyed. Like, subscribe, and hit that notification bell for more amazing videos, guys. I swear y'all are trying to make me suffer. Can confirm you with slashers, you won't hear this type of crap. You won't hear this bullshit except blood and a little bit of violence. Not torture his soul. Torture him. I'm like, no. Also, Bloody Painter. I told y'all about a theory I had about Bloody Painter possibly following Toby. Was I correct? Maybe Masky or Jeff could have told him, because honestly they were both against him. So why would they not tell Bloody Painter? I'm telling y'all, it's connecting, intertwining, it's intertwining, you know what I'm saying? Anyways, yo girls, sadly gotta go. I hope you guys have an amazing Friday, and be material girls. Anyways, yo girls gotta blow. Bye and peace.